Welcome, everybody, to another fun episode of Masks of Nyarlathotep, our Call of Cthulhu episode here. I'm Eric. I'm also known as Glimo, the Keeper of the Chronicles, here for Mask of Nyarlathotep on Roll20 and streaming live to Twitch and YouTube. Been a great few weeks here for me. I just got back from New Orleans, so definitely in the Halloween spirit. I was down for the big Kruabu parade in Gala, so good times there. And here we are playing Call of Cthulhu. So what's more Halloween than that? What's everybody else been up to? Bill, let's start with you.
Kind of the same old, same old. I winterized the camper and sadly left the campground today, so we'll be ready to go back in the spring.
Sad but true, fall is coming. Alrighty, Matt, what's new in your world?
Well, to be honest, the only thing that's really new is well, my mom's back from Italy right now, so I can't really, say shit, fuck, or whatever I want to say now because she might hear it and might die of a heart attack. And I also got Deus Ex: Mankind Divided for my PC, and it's actually a really good game. Apparently, it got really, really dumped on for some reason, but I don't really see why. But yeah, that's my 3 weeks so far.
Alrighty, George.
Oh, I was out in sunny Southern California for a few weeks,
Nice.
but I'm back to New England in time to see the Boston Red Sox beat the LA Dodgers like a redheaded stepchild.
18 innings the other night.
Yeah, well, it took them the equivalent of 2 games to win by 1 run. So,
Oh, that's just great.
and then they lost last night, so that was great because I don't know. They lost last year against the Astros. I think they're kind of just not very good at the end of the line.
So when you say beat like a redheaded stepchild, you mean just like a little slap on the wrist?
No, I mean like time to call Department of Child Services.
Oh. That could just be for a slap on the wrist, nowadays.
Yeah.
You can't beat the shit out of your kids without child services getting involved.
Yeah.
Well, good thing this adventure's set in the 20s when everything's just, fair game.
Yeah, fucking my character gets angry. It's just like, what the hell did you do? Punches one of his kids, they fucking die. And I'm just like, oh, he fell down the stairs. And the
Infant
cop's
mortality.
like, okay.
Get lippy, 5 across the eyes.
Before we go completely off the rails, Sean,
I'll give you a 5-figure discount for a beating. Sorry.
I've had better weeks, but interestingly enough, I discover on Monday whether or not I take my manager's job since they up and quit.
Ow!
So that may be a big thing for me, or it might be terrible. That's whether if I get even if I get the job.
Hopefully you'll get paid more.
Yes.
And selfishly, I'm hoping you'll have Sundays off.
That's right, because guess who's in charge of scheduling? Main reason to want the job. Wait a second.
Nice. Good to know that we've all got our priorities straight.
Yes.
All right. Carl is going to be a little bit late today, so let's start off with investigator development. This is the one time in Call of Cthulhu that you want to roll high. So, for those of you who haven't done this before, for every skill that you have a check in the checkbox next to, which is every skill that you successfully passed during the last 4 sessions, you get to make a skill check. If you fail, i.e. roll higher than your current skill level, then you improve that skill by 1d10 points. And for anyone that has a super high skill, you succeed no matter what if you roll 95 to 100. So, I guess we'll go around in the same order. Bill, if you want to start for Alistair. You pretty much didn't do anything last session. You just kind of sat around and helped. So,
Okay.
use your numbers from week 3.
Yep. All right. So skill roll there. That's how do I use the single die?
So
right?
archaeology you pass, so that means you don't actually get better.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. So let's go with fighting. I should roll the other one. Okay. So that is
That's a pass.
And firearms. That's a fail.
Oh, it's good.
So that means both of those you get to roll 1d10 and take that many extra points.
Okay, so let me bring up my D1d10. So let's take 3 on fighting brawl. Up to a whole 28.
Woo!
I'm a tough guy.
Yeah. You could totally kick Alejandro's ass.
And another 7 with my gun, so I'm up to 27 there.
Nice.
All right, so take those check marks off.
Yep, and then exactly, and then clear all your check marks once you're done.
All right, library use. That would be an extra. So that was a success, so that's a fail. So I will take that off. My double negatives here. Occult. Success, so that's a fail. Spot hidden. Success, so that's a fail. And fighting with the sword. So that's a success. A fail, so that's a success. And I got a 10 on there.
Damn, you get 30.
I'm a swordsman now.
You learned a lot from that one time you swung a sword.
Uh-huh. I believe that is all the check marks. Yep, that's all of them.
Okay, great. So you are ready. Okay. Next up, let's go with Alejandro.
Well, this is awkward. I kind of already did mine when we had our time off, but
Okay.
if you'd like, I could just list what I got.
Sure.
Okay. So for the fighting brawl, I got over, and I got +4, meaning I have 84. Firearms, rifle, and shotgun, I passed. First aid, I passed. Intimidate, I fumbled, and I got 2 on it, so I have 62 now. Listen, I got 18, which I passed. Mechanical repair, I failed, so I got +4 in it, making it 54. And for spot hidden, I failed it, and I got +3 on it, making it 28. And that should be all of them.
Okay. Great. All right. Let's go for Martin.
Oh, all right. Hold on. Did I actually pass? Hey.
I'm glad to see you all getting your really good dice rolls out during this part, so that you'll fail them all when you go to roll sanity.
Well, I didn't have to roll yet, so let's hope I get those rolls. Oh, look, he got psychology.
All right. All right.
Jesus.
Yay.
Nice. Well, you'll be able to tell if people are lying to you.
That's a hugely important skill.
Yeah.
Oh well. That's it for me.
Okay. Sean, let's take a look at Seamus.
Okay. So let's see. Did a lot of fighting. So roll for that. Just the regular?
Yes. Yeah, just a D100.
And yeah, nope.
You rolled too well. Okay.
Let's try first firearms.
Extreme.
And this is where you get an extreme. Nice.
Nice. And oops. One.
Oh, there you go. Well, your rifle shotgun goes up.
Okay. By how much?
1d10.
So what's that again when you roll here? That's
Slash roll space 1d10. Or you can use the dice. Slash roll, not equals.
I've been doing too many Excel spreadsheets at the moment.
There you go. Up by 7.
52.
Yep. All right. So then did language.
There you go. Your English got more better.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Well, here we go, Red Sox. Third man up makes it 2-0.
Nice.
Okay. Did some lock picking with my locksmiths. Let's see. Okay.
Darn.
Then
Oh
some
my god, it was right on the dot.
mechanical repair. Of course.
Well,
natural world. Yeah,
There you go.
Fail for the win.
I was at 10, and I actually managed to succeed once on it. I figured if there was anyone I was going to make tonight, that was going to be it.
I swear to God, if you got like a critical on that, that would have just been hilarious.
There you go. 16.
Okay.
Regular old Farmer Joe over here.
And spot. Of course. And did some engineering. All right. So that's it.
Little boy.
Okay. Other little bits of business. So it's been 4 years since the prologue and now. So I'll let you all have one freebie additional skill training. So you can all roll a d10 and throw that on any skill you like.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to say that I've been so rattled by the things that were going on in Peru, I've decided to do a little training in the fighting arts. Very little training, apparently.
Damn.
Well, I figured my character's figured out that he needs to be able to charm people a bit more. It might help him as business prospects over the years, be able to smooth talk people a little more. That's what he's thinking. Just be more sociable, help his business.
There you go. Matt, what is Alejandro taking those 7 points in?
I'm wondering if I should take it in Fighting Brawl, give me a 91. You know what? No, I'm gonna put that into mechanical repair, making it a 61. Seeing as he's a construction worker, he might have to repair some of the machines he works with.
Okay. I'll also allow you, if during the prologue, if you didn't enjoy what was going on with your character, if you wanted to move any points around, I sent you an email about this, but let me know if that's something you're interested in. Otherwise, we'll keep going as is. Everybody
Okay.
good?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Alejandro went insane during his encounter with Larkin.
Wait, I did?
Yeah, you did. Remember, he cast a mythos spell on you, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So Alejandro gets 5 points of Cthulhu Mythos and loses 5 points from maximum sanity.
Okay. It's still 94, so that's a good start.
And don't forget, all of you get 11 san and 10 luck back for finishing Peru.
Yeah, I think that just put me up to my starting, so that's good.
Excellent. All right. So everyone, give me a couple sentences on what your character's been up to for the last 4 years, and please also include where you're living. So, Bill, tell me what's up with Alistair.
Okay, so I guess I've gone back to New York, back to the museum, after being involved in such crazy goings on in Peru. I've dived into learning more about the occult and the mythos, that trying to figure out what happened back to my parents back in Pennsylvania in my youth, and kind of dove into occult studies.
Okay.
I'm already quite high there, so that would make sense to still be there.
And where are you living?
In New York, back working at the museum.
New York. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt, what has been going on with Alejandro?
Well, I think after the events of the prologue, I'm pretty sure he would have moved to New York with his family, since that's where his wife was from, and he got a job in construction. He's probably, at this point, he would probably be like not a foreman, but like one of the higher ups because of his strength and experience in construction. And she would probably be teaching. She'd probably be teaching in a public school that her kids go to, so it kind of saves her some trouble of having to watch them when actually she could keep her eye on them like all the time. Her kids are around a high school age too, so they're decently independent, but not exactly a developed full frontal cortex. You dig? God, I don't care if Grandma's dying. I need to go to the party.
Nice. Okay.
I've got a 12-year-old. That's not quite that far off. So.
Get the
All
fuck out of
right.
my room. I'm playing Minecraft. Sorry, internet meme.
So, what's Martin been up to for the last 4 years?
He's probably continued on as a soldier of fortune, so he has probably been around the world doing bad things for probably bad people and sending money to his aged parents back home. So, yeah, just going around the world and, as a murder for hire person.
Okay. Where's he currently based out of in early 1925?
Well, let's see. I don't know. What would be the biggest war zone in 1925? Let's see what happened in
Well,
1925.
things have just calmed down in Europe.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm assuming for convenience of the plot that he is between assignments right now.
Yeah, maybe he was like helping the British pacify Iraq or something.
Okay.
Or maybe he was helping get Wacky Tobacco off the streets of New York.
Oh, maybe. Who's that? Oh, you talking about
Yeah, marijuana, Wacky
No,
Tobacco.
no. I mean, hash was still, alcohol was illegal, but you could still find hash in the nightclubs.
Oh, fuck yeah. Just because you can find it in a nightclub doesn't mean it can't make you gay.
Yeah, but that was just jazz musicians.
Yeah,
I've seen Reefer Madness. Come on.
faster. Play faster.
So can we say that you're based in somewhere stateside to make it a little bit easier that you would have come back?
well, let's say that he lives in or his parents are in San Francisco.
Okay. Great. And what's Seamus been up to for the last 4 years?
Well, mostly went back to Toronto.
Okay.
And tried to again get it, doing his engineering bit. Gotten a little better at managing to find work. You got the, within Toronto and some places up north for that. Mildly successful in working on some different projects and whatnot. Um, for that, a little bit more driven than he was in the past after, first kind of adventure with the weirdness, and sort of shook off a bit of the whatever was her hanging around from his wartime experiences. He's got a whole new set of weirdness.
All right. So one more out of character thing before we jump into this. I'm gonna once more recommend that you guys keep a campaign journal. I don't really care whether you do it pen and paper or Google Doc, but starting now, there's going to be a lot of interconnected clues that aren't going to make a lot of sense until much later in the campaign. So, given our play schedule, probably good to not try to keep all of it in your heads.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so actually, Carl gave me one for Jesse, so here's what Jesse's been up to. Note to self, a mysterious pyramid oozing evil in the South American outback isn't exactly a barrel of laughs, good for one's health, or much in the way of riches. After that escape, I decided that what we did scrounge up in the way of valuables was enough for some R&R back in Texas. It took some time to make it back up to the States, including a number of minor adventures along the way. Armed with a good grade of whiskey and a second-hand typewriter, I spun some pulp yarns of my adventure, including that weirdness with Larkin. Writing seemed like a good change of pace, and a heck of a lot safer way to make a buck than slugging it out with cultists and monsters. It was even strangely therapeutic. Nonetheless, with the last story in the Mike McCree and the Incan Insanity series completed, it may be time for me to take serious matters up again. And Carl actually texted me just a minute ago, so he should hopefully be coming online in the next 15-20 minutes. So, all right. So over the last 4 years, you've kept in touch with your good friend. Where's my handouts for you guys? I know I've got them here. There we go. Handouts. New York handouts. Nope. Expedition handouts. Okay. So, I believe that you've all seen this previously, but just a quick little review about what you know about your dear friend Jackson Elias. Uh, you've been hanging out with him on and off for over the past 4 years. Uh, he has helped you all out of a jam at least one more time over the intervening 4 years. You consider him a close friend and confidant. You've kept track of his writing career. He came out with a book called The Hungry Dead shortly, about 2 years after you made it home from Peru, exposing the modern day survival of a Peruvian and Bolivian death cult from the time of the conquistadors. It omits many of the weirder details that you may remember and presents the cult as of the Karasiri as purely a human evil because he felt that actually talking about real vampires would be too unbelievable.
I got a bookshelf with signed copies of his work in my house, but I have 2 copies of The Hungry Dead.
Excellent.
It's autographed. The other one, I just make little notations of like, yeah, that's bullshit.
I asked him to sign my breasts.
All of the books are published by Prospero House of New York City, and were edited by the owner-editor Jonah Kensington. Kensington is a good friend of Jackson's, and those of you who've lived in New York have probably met Jonah at some social function or another. So, on January 3rd, 1925, you all receive a radio telegram from Jackson, who's currently aboard a ship. And it reads, "Have information concerning the Carlisle expedition. Stop. Need reliable investigative team. Stop. Meet January 15th, New York. Stop. Jackson Elias." So you've heard of the Carlisle expedition, but all you really remember is that everyone from it perished in Africa a few years ago. So, do you guys perform any research before heading, especially those of you who are outside of New York, before heading to New York to meet up with Jackson?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'll take a.
Libraries. Or whatever.
Excellent. Okay. So, let me show you some things that you find. So there's going to be a series of newspaper articles that you all find, and I'll pop them up for you. Big Apple, Dateline. Roger Carlyle, the playboy whom everyone knows or knows about, is quietly leaving New York tomorrow to check the tombs of Egypt. You've seen the cuties Rogers found in the night spots. Who can doubt he'll dig up someone or something equally fabulous from the Egyptian sands?
A yummy mummy, you say?
1919.
1919. Carlisle expedition embarks for London. Led by the fabulously wealthy playboy Roger Carlyle, the Carlisle expedition departed this morning for Southampton aboard the British steamship Imperial Standard. Contrary to earlier reports, the expedition will perform researches in London under the auspices of the Penhew Foundation before continuing to Egypt next month. Readers may recall the enormous party which Mr. Carlyle, now 24, gave at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel upon reaching his majority. Since then, scandals and indelicate behavior have become Carlyle's trademark, but he's never become tarnished in the eyes of Manhattanites. Members of the expedition have been reluctant to reveal their purpose in Egypt. Other expedition members, renowned Egyptologist Sir Aubrey Penhew, is assistant leader of the team and in charge of excavations. Dr. Robert Huston, a fashionable Freudian psychologist, accompanies the expedition to pursue parallel researches into ancient pictographs. Miss Hypatia Masters, linked in the past with Carlyle, will act as a photographer and archivist. Mr. Jack Brady, intimate to Mr. Carlyle, accompanies the group as general factorum. Additional members may be secured while in London.
In other words, real expedition.
And
I can only imagine that psychologist friend is really into the work of Oedipus.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Carlyle departs Egypt. July 4th, 1919. Sir Aubrey Penhew, temporary spokesman for the Carlyle expedition, indicated Thursday that the leaders are taking ship to East Africa for a well-earned rest. Sir Aubrey debunked rumors that the expedition had discovered clues to the legendary wealth of the lost mines of King Solomon, maintaining that the party was going on safari in respite from our sandy labors. Roger Carlyle, wealthy New York leader of the expedition, was unavailable for comment, still suffering from his recent sunstroke. Discussing that unfortunate incident, local experts declared Egypt entirely too hot for Anglo-Saxons at this time of year, and suggested that the young American had not been well served by his democratic enthusiasm, rumored to have led him to personally wield pick and shovel. And this one.
Yeah, typical Whitey. Oh, Africa's too hot.
July 31st, 1919. Important visitors. Mombasa. Leading members of an American archaeological expedition arrived here on holiday from digs in Egypt's Nile Valley. Our Undersecretary, Mr. Royston Whittington, held a welcoming dinner for them at the Collingswood House, where the wit of Sir Aubrey Penhew, expedition co-leader, was much in evidence. Accompanying Sir Aubrey are the youthful financier Roger Carlyle and medical doctor Robert Houston, as well as socialite Miss Hypatia Masters. The party leaves inland today for Nairobi and hunting. Bum, bum, bum. October 15th, 1919. Carlisle expedition feared lost. Mombasa. Uplands police representatives today asked for public assistance concerning the possible disappearance of the Carlisle expedition. No word of the party has been received in nearly 2 months. The group includes wealthy playboy Roger Carlyle and 4 other American citizens, as well as Egyptologist Sir Aubrey Penhew of the United Kingdom. The expedition left Nairobi on August 3rd, ostensibly on safari, but rumor insisted that they actually were after legendary biblical treasures. Carlyle and his party reportedly intended to explore portions of the Great Rift Valley to the northwest of Nairobi. March 11th, 1920. Erica Carlyle arrives in Africa. Mombasa. In response to clues, Miss Erica Carlyle, sister to the American leader of the lost Carlyle expedition, arrived in port today aboard the Egyptian vessel Fount of Life. Several Kayuku villagers' reports recently have received concerning the putative massacre of unnamed whites near the Aberdare forest. Miss Carlyle declared her intention to find her brother, regardless of the effort needed. She brought with her the nucleus of a large expedition. Detailing agents to coordinate supply and other activities with colony representatives, Miss Carlyle and the remainder of her party depart for Nairobi tomorrow. Her companion, Miss Victoria Post, indirectly emphasized Miss Carlyle's purposefulness by recounting the rigors of the voyage. May 24th, 1920. Carlisle massacre confirmed. Nairobi. The massacre of the long-missing Carlisle expedition was confirmed today by district police representatives. Roger Carlyle, New York's rollicking playboy, is counted among the dead. Authorities blame hostile Nandi tribesmen for the shocking murders. Remains of at least 24 expedition members and bearers are thought to be found in the remote region of the Aberdare forest. Erica Carlyle, Roger Carlyle's sister and apparent heiress to the Carlyle family fortune, led the dangerous search for her brother and his party. She credited Kayuku tribesmen for the discovery, though the police actually found the site. Among other expedition members believed lost are Sir Aubrey Penhew, noted Egyptologist, New York socialite Hypatia Masters, and Dr. Robert Houston. Many bearers are also reported dead. And one last article. June 19th, 1920. Murderers hanged. Nairobi. Five Nandi tribesmen, convicted ringleaders of the vicious Carlisle Expedition massacre, were executed this morning after a short, expertly conducted trial. To the end, the tribesmen steadfastly refused to reveal why they had slaughtered Mr. Carlyle and his companions. Mr. Harvis, acting for the colony, cleverly implied throughout the trial that the massacre was racial in motivation, and that the fair-skinned victims were subject to the most savage treatment, preventing all but the most preliminary identification of their remains. Miss Erica Carlyle, defeated in her efforts to rescue her brother, left several weeks ago, but is surely comforted now by this triumph of justice. So, that is what you were able to find out about the Carlisle expedition.
I'm confused about one thing.
What are you confused by?
Okay, wasn't it supposedly an expedition to Egypt they were supposed to be going on? So why'd they end up? Because that forest, I don't think, is in Egypt, isn't it? No?
So one of the newspaper articles does say that they spent some time in Egypt and then decided to go to Nairobi, Kenya for relaxation and hunting.
My bad.
Funny enough, I've actually
Where
been
they-
to Nairobi. Sorry.
Oh, well, there you go. Were you there after resting from digging up pyramids?
No, I was there to dig up the foundation for a couple schoolhouses, but it was for me to wee. Yeah, it was basically just this thing that I did when I was 15. It was a pretty nice experience, but no one got massacred. Sadly, that would have been one hell of a story. But yeah, it was pretty fun. There was this guy with us that protected us from whoever might come along. He had like this big ass assault rifle just in case.
Okay.
No, the reason I probably got confused was I was thinking 1990 was an odd time to go into Egypt. That would be the end of their revolution.
What revolution was that?
Well, it was more of an uprising than one, but they had one against the British. There, British won. They put it down, but by the middle of the 1919. So, but imagine that still going to a country shortly after that would have been taken a little bit of balls.
Well, it's not where they were murdered.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I'm like, going, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense,
Yeah, but my character lives in New York, so he wouldn't have researched this. He would have just been like, hey, I'll just go see my friend, whatever.
Alrighty. So I'm just going to, GM Fiat say that the rest of you who don't live in New York, you're looking out for your buddy, so you managed to book yourself travel and
it's really easy to get there.
Get yourself down to New York.
Yeah, way to railroad, Eric.
Exactly. Literally in most of your cases.
Oh, yeah. Fucking.
So,
Well, you don't want to play the ticket agent for the trains and planes and automobiles that are needed.
no.
Ooh, can I be Steve Martin? No, wait. John Candy.
Nice. Okay, so it is January in New York. 1925 is turning into a very unpleasant winter. There was a 2-day snowstorm on January 2nd and another huge storm on the 12th, which basically shut down the city. Snow is still piled high on the sides of the streets as you arrive, and workers are still shoveling out in some neighborhoods. Alejandro, if you're still working odd jobs, the city probably, put you to work for a few days after the storm on the 12th to shovel out.
Yeah, To be honest, I probably would be working odd jobs because, you know, if it's a big snowstorm, a construction site's probably not going to be open. You
Yep.
know, for the fact that most of the fucking workers will die if that's the case.
True enough.
They care about safety to an extent.
So, out of towners, when do you arrive?
I'm gonna try and make it in before the New Year's Eve, because you know what the heck? See New Year's Eve in New York City.
Well, you don't get the telegram until the either
right.
the 3rd or 4th of January.
My character probably had New Year's Eve party in New York.
Mm.
Ha!
Right.
I went to the Hamptons with P. Diddy.
I would say probably it takes about 3 days for me to make arrangements and get the train from Toronto to Montreal to New York.
Okay. So you're leaving pretty much right away,
Yeah.
getting in, you know, before the weekend of
Mhm.
the. So Jackson wants to meet you on the 15th, which is a Thursday. So you're gonna try to get in. So you get in and get caught up by in the snowstorm and play around and make snow angels.
Yeah, well, to me, it's nothing.
You're from Toronto, yeah, you know.
My guy's probably in.
Oh,
I was just gonna say, my guy's probably in hell right now. He's from Peru and shit. It's like, what the hell is this white stuff?
In January, summertime. Come on. Peruvian summer.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, god.
Okay. And when does Martin show up?
He'll try to arrive a week early.
Okay.
So, like the 8th.
Okay.
And maybe catch a Broadway show and find out a little bit about what's going on in the Big Apple.
Okay. For those of you who are out of towners, where are you staying? Hotels?
yes.
All right. Let me. I had meant to print out the list of hotels and forgot to. So, and I apparently wrote down the wrong page number. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if you've got a ton of money, the Plaza Hotel on Army Plaza in Manhattan is really, really nice. Or there's the Waldorf Astoria on 5th and 33rd, which is incidentally where Roger Carlyle held his grand 21st birthday party.
Still a nice place.
and
Quick.
much later will become the Empire State Building. But for now, that's where the Waldorf is. For less discerning investigators, the Alcazar Hotel on West 30, also on West 32nd, around the corner from the Waldorf, is kind of a bootlegger special hotel. Also, the Hotel Girard on West 44th, near Times Square, is another bootlegger and underground type hotel. Or there's the Times Square Hotel, which is a nicer residence, kind of good in between, you know, the Waldorf and the bootlegger special.
Times Square Hotel it is.
Excellent.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I don't think I said where I was living when I said what I was doing all these years.
You told me New York.
I did say New York, but I thought I'd be more specific if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. He basically lives in he lives in a bungalow in not a too low end neighborhood, not a ghetto, but kind of a working class
So
neighborhood.
like Spanish Harlem.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And you speak the language, so that works out.
Hell yeah. Although they will notice, like, oh, that's Peruvian Spanish. Fuck you. They're probably not going to say fuck you to his face, though. I mean, come on. The guy's fucking 90 strength, 80 size.
Martin will be staying with an old military buddy in Harlem.
Okay. All right. So, it's the morning of January 15th. Just crossing some days out on this calendar. Each one of you individually, and we can do this one at a time if you want to have any other interaction. Receive a phone call from Jackson. Now, usually when you guys talk to Jackson, there's a lot of, relaxed small talk at the beginning of a conversation with him. This time, it's a completely different animal. He jumps right in and says, "It's Jackson. We need to meet tonight. Hotel Chelsea, room 410, 8 p.m. sharp."
How fancy a hotel is the Chelsea?
It is moderately fancy. You know, this is where Jackson tends to hang out when he's in New York. It's a little bit bohemian. There's a lot of writers and artists that stay there.
A lot of opium, maybe some morphine. Although that's probably the case. Yeah, my guy's probably, considering the fact that it's bohemian and all, he's probably going to change out of his usual attire and like put on his nice clothes, which is just a vest, a shirt, some pants, and shoes, and a coat because it's winter.
I was going to say boots, more likely.
Oh yeah, totally.
Do any of you say anything to Jackson? You're just all getting off the phone after he kind of ends curtly there.
At this point, I'm just going to say like, okay.
Is there anything wrong? You sound different tonight.
Things are moving. I gotta go. And he hangs up.
Okay. Do you need me to bring anything? You know what I mean? Peru?
Click.
Click.
Mm-hmm. What's the gun laws like in New York at this time?
Open carry is not legal. Long guns are definitely not legal. But if you've got a handgun under your jacket, especially on a cold, snowy day, no one's gonna notice.
I get the drift.
Well, I am going to be packing along my sword cane.
Because all professors in Call of Cthulhu have to carry a sword cane. It's the law.
Exactly.
Of course.
All right. Are any of you doing anything during the day on the 15th?
I'm going to catch a show at a jazz club to listen to Duke Ellington.
Okay. I'm not sure that he'd be playing during the day on a Thursday, but you can definitely get some jazz.
Yeah, it's probably just someone Oh, hey.
Hey, Carl.
Good evening.
All right. While Carl makes his introductions, I'm gonna go get myself a Coke, if that's okay.
Yeah, sounds great. Carl, you get your mic on?
No, maybe I don't.
There we go.
Hold on a second. All right. Did I just make it in for the break?
No, we were actually just getting going.
Oh, all right. Sounds good. I am not yet in roll 20.
So, bringing you quickly up to speed. January 3rd, 1925, you get a radio telegram from your good friend Jackson asking you to meet him in New York on the 15th and telling you that he needs a team of investigators and that he has information on the Carlisle expedition. There's a bunch of handouts that I've opened up for you when you get into Roll20 that I'll let you read at your leisure, but the summary is the Carlisle expedition was led by a man named Roger Carlyle, who was kind of a playboy in New York. He took a whole bunch of people out to Egypt to explore pyramids. After a few months in Egypt, the expedition moved on to Nairobi, Kenya for some R&R and hunting. And in Kenya, the expedition was slaughtered. The deaths were blamed on Nandi tribesmen, 5 of which were hanged. And for some reason, my video keeps going out on one of my monitors. Weird. So that's what you know about the Carlisle expedition, and there's a little bit more detail in the handouts that you can go through.
All right. I'm looking now.
So we've kind of skipped ahead. It is now January 15th. You are in New York. It's snowy as hell in New York and cold. And on the morning of the 15th, you get a phone call at your hotel, and it's Jackson, and he is normally when you get a phone call from Jackson, you know, he's pretty open. He's really really friendly, and in this case, he's like super curt and gruff. He's like, "It's Jackson. We need to meet tonight, Hotel Chelsea, room 410, 8 p.m. sharp." And hangs up the phone like right afterwards. So I had just before you joined, I'd asked everyone if they were going to be doing anything important between the time they get the phone call and 8 p.m. So you got 10-ish hours to if you're going to be doing anything in New York.
Sorry, I'm trying to read this and listen at the same time. Wait, so we're all back together again?
You're all in New York. I don't
see.
know that any of you have met up with each other. I don't know if you.
Where are you staying?
Are you staying in a hotel? Or are you staying? Yeah, you.
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, so
Alistair and Alejandro both live in New York.
Oh, I see.
And Martin and Seamus have come in. Martin's staying with friends. Seamus is at a hotel in Times Square.
Can I don't know. So there was I assume there was like a specific meet date. How about if I roll in?
Yeah, so the meeting is tonight. It's now the morning of January 15th. My big question is
Okay.
like, are you going out and I'm assuming that you've brought the things that you need with you, but if there's anything that you want to procure, extra bullets or anything like that, let me know.
I'd like
Okay.
to procure something. It's not anything necessarily adventure, but since I'm in New York, publishing capital pretty much North America, if not the world, I'm going to take probably as well as textbooks, see around if there's any interesting things for my profession, engineering and things like that. Since I have an opportunity, probably to see some, bookstores that I wouldn't normally have the opportunity. I'm going to go and, take advantage.
Certainly, there's plenty of bookstores while you've been in town for a few days, as well as the New York Public Library is, at this point in time, pretty much the largest in the United States.
Again, so I figure I'll take advantage while I'm here and see if there's any, because, generally technical manuals aren't the normal thing you might see in normal bookstores, but this is New York. And there's the universities and things like that. You can always find textbooks there.
So, okay, so everybody, so I'm going to say that Jesse's never been this far to the East Coast and is either, so I assume that I don't know how long a trip this would be in 1925, but I would imagine it's
You were probably a
still a
good
couple
week by
days?
rail.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would say that, maybe he's just getting into town and, basically going through like the biggest ass city in the United States for the first time.
Okay.
So just kind of seeing the sights and whatever catches his eye.
Very good.
And
All right.
being a Thursday, I'm going to be working at the museum per my usual.
Okay.
And I think since it's probably is it like still like really, really snowed over?
So there's definitely a lot of snow still on the sidewalks. There's good mounds off to the sides of the streets. Some of the less populated neighborhoods probably still have a good covering of snow on the ground.
Okay. Well, since this is early January, this is probably still part of Christmas break. He's probably spending some time with his family. They had Christmas break back then, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to skip ahead to the evening and assume that you all meet up in the lobby of the Hotel Chelsea. So the Hotel Chelsea is on West 23rd between 7th and 8th Avenues. It's a 12-story red brick edifice with magnificent staircase in the lobby. It was built as an apartment building in 1884, but reopened as a hotel in 1905. Let me just grab your characters quick, because I've got a map of New York here that I can drop you on. So I need to actually grab all of you.
Are we meeting in a specific room or whatever passes for a bar during Prohibition?
He said to meet him at his room 410.
Meet me in my room, 410, clothes optional.
Now that sounds like not my kind of party. I mean, I guess it depends on who's there.
Is it like Always Sunny in Philly? What's the password? 410. Gee.
I'm the trash man. I eat garbage.
Okay, Frank.
I'm sorry.
Yankee Stadium.
Miss somebody's token.
Oh, I guess 1925 is before when all the Woolworth building was built, I guess.
Okay, great. Now I've got all the tokens. Okay.
I'm going to visit Nikola Tesla at the Waldorf Astoria.
So the Hotel Chelsea's on. All right, so I told you that. All right. So a significant number of the guests of the hotel are still long-term residents, and the hotel is popular with artists, writers, and musicians, lending it something of a bohemian reputation. So, oh dear God, what do I want? Oh, okay, great. That's what Alejandro's wearing. Okay.
Sorry, I thought I'd point that out. Sorry.
Cleaned up.
Yeah, he cleaned up a little bit. This is a fancier place.
So the five of you meet up in the lobby. I'm assuming that at least some of you probably haven't seen each other in 4 years.
Probably seen Alistair, the museum guy, on occasion, considering the fact that Alejandro doesn't go to museums that much, as you can probably tell. Yeah, he's probably seen like Alistair on the street, so he's like, "Oh, hey, buddy," and stuff like that. But that was it.
Wait, so is everybody in New York? I mean,
You're all in New York now.
No, I know where
You've
now,
all
but-
gotten the telegram and the phone call from Jackson, and you've all answered the charge. So now the five of you meet up in the lobby before heading upstairs.
Well, I get that, but does everyone else live in New York?
No, only
Only
Alejandro and Alistair live in New York.
Oh, okay.
Seamus is in Toronto. Martin's kind of been a soldier of fortune all over the place, but has family in San Francisco, so that's kind of where he calls home in the U.S. when he's
Holy
in the
crap!
U.S.
We have 112 viewers. Sorry, I just looked at the Twitch.
Yeah,
That's actually
we're
pretty
moving
good.
tonight.
Hell yeah! Yeah. Sorry, I just thought I'd point that out.
All right.
It's because I thought it was the Bard's Tale.
Yeah, they thought it was Dungeons and Dragons. Sorry to disappoint you, folks.
Oh yeah.
So,
All right. Let's see. So I don't know. I mean,
you all ready to head up to the fourth floor?
Jesse swings by and kind of says, well, fancy seeing you all here again. I hope this time there's more treasure and less oozing creatures.
You okay, Carl? You sound like you're breathing heavily.
I don't think so.
I think it's
Just get the
probably
mic a
good
little
idea
close to your mouth.
Mike's close, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, hey guys, what's up? I'm just gonna do some ASMR.
I'm not even breathing.
Yeah, it just sounds like you're breathing heavily.
Interesting. All right, I'm gonna mute.
I'm not even breathing. I'm like a vampire. I don't need to breathe.
All right, so you're heading up to the room.
Yep, make our
right.
introductions.
So you're-
Yep.
You're heading up to the fourth floor. The corridor is dimly lit, and you're standing in front of the door to room 410. What do you do?
Let's listen at the door.
I mean, we don't think there's anything that could possibly be going on, so I would say,
Knock.
polite knock and wait for. Wait for him to come to the door.
So I've heard two things. Are you listening or are you knocking?
I'm voting on knock.
Yeah, I'd say knock. So
All right, that's fine.
Okay. You knock at the door. There's no answer. You're welcome to make a listen roll.
yeah, I mean, while we're waiting for somebody to come to the door, let's listen. Come on.
Nice one. Of course, I fucking succeed. So can I tick that one off?
You can tick it off, yes.
Sweet.
So, Alejandro, you don't think you hear anything?
I had some skills back last time we met. Anybody want me to try again?
Yeah, I'd say you're the expert at unlawful entry. Let's give that a shot.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, but maybe he's still sleeping. Maybe he's a dope fiend. Who knows?
Try the doorknob. Is it actually open?
It is locked.
I knock harder.
Yeah, Jackson looks like he's got better security on this.
Goddamn.
Jackson. Knock, knock. You in there?
Rolled a 90? I could have done that on my skills improvement.
You could push the roll in the possibility of breaking the lock, therefore making it impossible to open at all.
Yeah, my lock picking skills are a 1, so I'm not even going to give that one a try.
Oh, really? Mine too.
Do you want to push the roll?
How does that work? If I haven't actually pushed it.
You basically roll again, but if you fail the other time, the result is worse.
Well,
Hey,
let's see if anybody has any ideas before I go and do something extreme.
I
Oh,
can
that's
kick the door down.
Did you bring any dynamite?
Oh, God. Hey,
It's New York. I know a lot of things can go,
yeah.
but I figured that was pushing it.
As Alejandro would say, who needs dynamite when you have these guns? Yeah, he just pats his arms. But
All right, so everybody's in. I'll try one more time. I'll push it.
Okay.
Let's see.
Nice.
Okay. So, tell me what you do to. You're stymied a little bit the first time, but tell me what you do to kind of dig in to get that door open.
He pressed square to force the lock.
I break out just a little bit of lubricant, put it in there, go in. Not so gentle this time.
Some
Just
KY jelly. You just gotta force it in. Oh man.
Okay. So you open the door. You notice 3 things about the room. The first thing you notice is it's been ransacked. There's belongings and bedding strewn all about the room. The second thing you notice is your friend Jackson. He's dead.
Oh, motherfucker.
His body's lying on the bed in a pool of blood and offal. His intestines have been ripped out, and there's a strange symbol carved into his forehead. Any of you who didn't take Hardened, I'm going to need sanity rolls.
I took Hardened.
I think I did.
I've seen worse than this in the war. Fuck it. I had to sap people's heads off for this.
There were 3 dead guys in the subway coming up
Oh,
to the hotel. What do you want?
Oof.
fumble.
Yeah, I'm not dealing well with my buddy's demise.
Oh my god.
Double
2-0.
fumble.
Ooh.
It must have been a really bad scene.
And I rolled max. So you each take 6 sanity loss.
Yeah, like
It's like all I had back from the whole prelude.
fucking, you just start crying, puking, and shitting yourselves. I think this would actually call for an intelligence roll, if I'm honest, or if I remember correctly.
I don't. Well, it's not from Mythos, so you wouldn't need to make an intelligence roll. But I am gonna say for now that I'm gonna push off any insanity in the first scene just to move things along a little bit better.
Yeah, don't worry.
Um,
And the next one is going to screw us.
Yes.
Jackson!
Why are you reminding him of stuff like this?
So the third thing you notice is that there's 2 men out on the fire escape, and a third man is exiting the window to join them.
Okay.
The 2 guys on the fire escape are black. The one coming through the window is white. All 3 are wearing shabby dark suits stained in blood. They have a strange headpiece with a long red piece of felt dangling from it on. They have large knives tucked into their belts, also fresh with blood. And they see you come in, and they yell, "Come on, let's go!" And they make a dash for it.
Okay. At this point, Alejandro's going to do something really dumb, and he's going to chase after them.
Can
Okay.
I get a shot off before Alejandro breaks line of sight?
Did you bring a gun?
Yes. I
Okay.
always carry a gun.
Hey, here.
Hold on.
I'm a mercenary. Of course, I always carry a gun.
Yeah. Even in New York.
Especially in
Good
New
old
York.
Especially
York.
New York. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson calls us, wants to meet us. Of course, we're packing.
Yeah, my character's just packing these guns right here.
So I'm gonna say that the 2 of you that failed your sanity, you're gonna have to sit out the first round of combat because you're just too shocked. I won't make you go insane, but you're gonna miss the first round of combat. The rest of you, let's pop up a tracker.
So is this a chase or a combat?
It is going to be a chase.
Yay.
Because they are trying to get the heck out of Dodge.
On? What floor are we on?
You are on the 4th floor. And what did I do with their stat blocks? Alright, so we've got a dex of 50. A dex of 65. And a dex of 80. Please update your dexes in the tracker.
While this is happening, is it okay if I use the washroom?
Yeah, we can actually, that's probably a good thing. We've been going for almost an hour and a half. Let's take a quick break here, and then we'll come back and start the chase scene.
Of course.
Come on back at, let's call it 9:32-ish Eastern.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be back in 10, everybody.